Tayabang. Tabi.
The Philippines, a nation constantly tested by the forces of nature, once again endured the fury of the Pacific as Super Typhoon Nando, international name Ragasa, struck its northern regions on the 23rd of September 2025. With sustained winds exceeding 200 kilometers per hour and gusts reaching 250 kilometers per hour, Nando has been recorded as one of the most powerful storms to hit the country in recent years. The devastation it brought highlights both the vulnerability of the archipelago and the resilience of its people in the face of recurring natural disasters. Meteorologists had been monitoring Nando closely from its formation as a tropical disturbance over the western Pacific. Fueled by warm ocean waters and favorable atmospheric conditions, the storm rapidly intensified into a super typhoon. Within days, it forced the Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration, Ragasa, to raise multiple cyclone wind signals across northern Luzon. Communities were warned to brace for destructive winds, torrential rains, and storm surges capable of overwhelming coastal defenses. On the 23rd of September, the storm's eyewall came dangerously close to the provinces of Cagayan, Isabela, and Batanes. These areas bore the brunt of its ferocity. Power lines collapsed under the force of the winds, schools and public buildings were ripped apart, and coastal villages were inundated by storm surges. Roads turned into rivers as relentless rains triggered flash floods and landslides, cutting off vital access to remote barangays. Families were forced to evacuate in the middle of the night, carrying what little they could save. Authorities had already mobilized large-scale evacuations, relocating thousands to emergency shelters in safer areas. Relief goods were prepositioned, and the armed forces of the Philippines were dispatched to aid in rescue and clearing operations. Despite these efforts, the destruction was immense. Many communities reported the loss of homes, crops, and livelihoods within hours of Nando's landfall. Urban centers were not spared either. Flash floods submerged low-lying districts, while landslides in upland areas isolated entire towns. Agricultural losses mounted as rice fields and vegetable farms were submerged beneath muddy floodwaters. For farmers, Nando's arrival meant not only destroyed harvests, but also months of lost income and food insecurity. Coastal economies also came to a standstill as fishing fleets were grounded and ports were shut down. The maritime sector suffered heavily as the storm churned violent seas with towering waves, forcing all shipping operations to halt. The economic toll is expected to be significant, adding to the already heavy burden faced by local governments trying to rebuild after successive natural calamities. Beyond immediate damages, Nando has reignited urgent conversations about climate resilience. Scientists emphasize that the Philippines is experiencing stronger and more destructive storms as a direct result of warming seas and shifting climate patterns. Calls for improved urban planning, climate-resilient infrastructure, and stronger early warning systems have grown louder in the wake of this super typhoon. International attention has also turned toward the Philippines. Humanitarian groups and neighboring nations pledged support, sending aid packages, relief teams, and emergency funding. The outpouring of solidarity shows that while disasters strike with ferocity, they also unite nations and people in the shared mission of recovery. As Nando weakened and moved out of the Philippine area of responsibility after the 23rd of September 2025, the focus shifted to recovery and rebuilding. Power and communication lines are being restored, debris cleared, and families provided with food, water, and shelter. Yet for many, the emotional scars remain deep.
Gini, sa atong balay na may taytaya. Oh, may tayab na dayta, ne? Lukpabon na dayta.
Amid the destruction, stories of hope and courage shine brightly. Volunteers risking their lives to rescue neighbors, medical teams working tirelessly in crowded evacuation centers, and communities uniting in the spirit of bayanihan to support one another. Super Typhoon Nando has tested the Philippines, but it has not broken it. The winds may have torn down walls, the floods may have swept away homes, but the resilience of the Filipino people stands firm. To those who lost loved ones, homes, or livelihoods, our hearts are with you. To the first responders, volunteers, and everyday heroes who rose above the storm, your courage inspires us all. The road to recovery will be long, but together, the Philippines will rebuild, stronger than before. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay united, and never lose hope, because even the strongest storms cannot extinguish the strength of the human spirit.